Good.
Here we are. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the August NCPEID APE Collaborative. Welcome back all from summer break. I think a lot of us in higher ed are probably in the first few weeks of classes, and I know school-wise, a lot of school districts have started up or will start up here pretty soon in and around Labor Day. So thanks all for joining us. I am going to share my screen and welcome you all officially to our first collaborative of the 2023-2024 school year. Welcome on behalf of NCPEID, the National Consortium for Physical Education for Individuals with Disabilities. And I'm Melissa Bittner. I am the chair of the NCPEID membership subcommittee, and our schedule today, we're slated for about an hour, and the topic is summer camps for youth with disabilities. We thought that this was really perfect timing, just coming off of the summer camp scene for some of us, so a great way to share about some of the different summer camps for youth with disabilities. We're going to highlight 3 camps. Camp abilities, we've got Dr. Lauren Lieberman, Camp Nugget. We have directors myself and Dr. Amanda Young, and we have Camp Weber, and we have Allie Keene, who's directing that. After this, kind of equally important, we have a student panel. So the student panel worked at one of these, so one representative from each of the summer camps, and they're going to share their perspective as a student and what they learned by working these summer camps. Then finally, we'll wrap it up with a little bit of audience Q&A. As always, this will be live on Facebook through the NCPEID Facebook page. It will also be posted on the NCPEID YouTube page. And in addition, it will be an upcoming episode of the What's New in APE podcast. So without further ado, I will pass the baton over to Dr. Lauren Lieberman from SUNY Brockport, longtime executive director of Camp Abilities, and very excited for her to go ahead and share more about Camp Abilities and also how future students might be able to jump on as a staff member for upcoming years. So thanks, Lauren, for joining us. Go ahead.
Thanks so much, Melissa and Amanda, for doing this. This is great timing. And we just have had such an amazing year of camps. I'm sure everybody can attest to that. I do want to also welcome Dr. Monica Lepore and Dr. Maria Lepore-Stevens, because they were with me and helped me start my camp. And they also run Camp Abilities all over the country as well. So maybe they can jump in towards the end as well. But I started Camp Abilities. It's an educational sports camp for children with visual impairments in 1996. And we just saw the need because kids with visual impairments were often on the sidelines. Unfortunately, they still are today. But Camp Abilities' purpose is to empower children with visual impairments to know that they can do sports and what modifications they need, and to teach future teachers. So I know a lot of our programs, a big purpose is to educate our students. And it's such a great hands-on experience to do in a safe environment. And I think our students will attest to that. But for our 20th anniversary of camp, we actually made a video that I want to show you. And so I am going to, where did it go? Here it is. So this is a Camp Abilities documentary. This is right on our website, and you'll see a lot of different Camp Abilities on this video. This is Beat Baseball. You'll see on the bottom left, it'll say which camp it is.
Overnight educational sports camp for children with visual impairments, blindness, and deafblindness. And the reason why we needed Camp Abilities is because so many kids are not provided an opportunity to do sports and physical activity and recreation in their hometowns and in their schools.
Yeah, I was a big sports fan, and I got to do these sort of things because of Camp Abilities. I never thought in my wildest dreams that blind people and sports, went together before Camp Abilities.
being here, you have your friends, you have people that you don't know, people that you do know, and it helps you to really open up. Here, everybody is like you, and here, everybody has that shell, and it's up to you to open up from that shell and to really communicate and to really give into everything.
Purpose of camp is to give those kids experience in sports and physical
That's
activity
goal ball.
and
if you
different
didn't know
recreation
sport.
activities and understand how to make them accessible for themselves.
Just because you're blind or just because you're deaf doesn't mean that you don't.
It's the
you
Puerto Rico
cannot do
camp abilities.
anything. They can do exercise. They can swim. They can do judo. They can they can fight from themselves.
And we also teach the kids how to advocate when they are in a situation where they know that they can access a sport, how to access that and how to teach the teachers, how to teach them and make them included. And so camp is for the kids with visual impairments, and it's also to train the teachers about how to teach kids with visual impairments.
The joy that I've had from seeing all of the kids be able to do something that they've never thought was possible, improve something, watch them socialize.
That's our 7-person bike.
And so it takes every ounce of energy I got, and I honestly don't really sleep, but it's what I need to recharge me for every single year for my teaching.
It's a guide wire.
I'm hooked. I'm hooked on camp, and people that have been hooked kind of know it's the kids. It's all about the kids.
Camp Abilities originally started at State University of New York, College of Brockport in 1996. And some people from Alaska were there. They came to the Brockport camp and said, wow, this is a great concept. We don't have anything for people with visual impairment in terms of sports. Would you come to Alaska and start camp there? And that became the beginning of the expansion of Camp Abilities.
After being involved with Camp Abilities for so many years, it to me has always been Lauren's vision that all of us graduate students or people that have been involved in camp or have the passion for camp should start one wherever they're at.
This is not a business. It's not a franchise. It's a group of dedicated and committed colleagues who decided that children with blindness and visual impairments did not have the opportunities that many other children have, and not as many opportunities as some other disability groups have.
Camp Abilities actually makes me feel very included because I'm not the only blind person here. I feel like we're all just one family, and it makes me feel really happy and excited.
I've been at Camp Abilities for 10 years now. This is my 10th year, so it's a decade. I think Camp Abilities really helped me because I realized when going to Camp Abilities that I can do all these different sports. And even if they do have to be modified a little bit, I still can do them with anticipation and expectation and bars soaring higher and higher throughout the week that you just feel. You feel it in the air, and it's contagious. The energy, the positivity, the supportiveness, the encouragement, it's all contagious.
The money to support Camp Abilities all comes from donations. It's a huge community effort. This year we started something where we said if they wanted to sponsor a camper, we figured out how much it costs per camper and put that out there. That was a huge help to us.
I grew up doing sports, and I felt like it was a huge part of my life. And when I look at a lot of the kids with visual impairments that are growing up in society today, and I think about there's an athlete in that body, they deserve the same rights that we have, that kids who are sighted and
This is
hearing
Camp
have.
Abilities Brockport.
And they really don't have the same kind of quality of life that their peers have. And I think that everybody deserves to be involved in sports and physical activity because we can learn a lot from the contribution of people who are blind and visually impaired.
Their parents are proud of them. They're proud of themselves. We're proud of them. And I think all over again, I really picked the right thing to do.
So that is our one of our videos of Campabilities. There's actually a longer version, and of course, our camps all over the world. And fortunately, this past week, Monica and Maria and I were at Campabilities in New Jersey in Tom's River, where we started a new Campabilities, and Maria already has one in New Jersey as well. So that was just a really wonderful opportunity. And I've just had the good fortune to be able to go all over the world and do Campabilities and bring students. And you really learn a lot about visual impairment and the culture when you do that. And if anybody's interested, the Campabilities story is a memoir that I wrote about the whole journey from the very beginning all the way through the Fulbright and other countries, and just some of the bumps and bruises along the way, but also the joys as well. And I also just want to say that to me, like seeing our students and graduate students graduate and go on and be leaders in the field of visual impairment and adaptive PE because of camp, and start their own camps, because some of Alex Stribbing, Dr. Stribbing started that camp in New Jersey through Keene University, where she is. And we just had our 10th anniversary in Saratoga Campabilities with one of our other alumni. So it's just a joy to see people go out, no pressure, Matt, but to go out and start their own Campabilities wherever they go. So, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel either. We actually created a Campabilities startup manual that you can actually access and use that tells you step-by-step how to start a Campabilities. And I'm happy to say that our camp in Alaska is still going, and Ali will tell you more about that. But it's really a joy that the kids who are really isolated in those rural communities get to come together with other kids with visual impairment. So.
Right. Thank you so much, Lauren, and all, because it takes a village to pull off a summer camp. Lauren, or one of you, if you could put in the chat the website for Campabilities. So I know there's so many great resources. We share this with our students. You've got loads of amazing videos on different sports for individuals with visual impairments and how we can modify and adapt. So the website really is a wealth of resources for helping with sports in VI. So thanks for putting that together. Great. It's campabilities.org and campabilitiesworld.com, and that's in the chat if you want to check that out. And I know that there's a link there about all the different camps, and also contact information if you want to help out as a camp coach or counselor. Not sure what terminology you all use in upcoming summers. Well, and not all Campabilities are throughout the summer, correct? Is it year round?
Yeah, we have camps. Some of them are in April, like the one in Boston is in April. The one in Ireland is also in April. And then we also have winter Campabilities in Utica. Yeah, they're all throughout the year. And I think Maria has a winter camp as well.
Right. Thank you all, Campabilities team. I'm going to share screen again, and we're now going to chat about Camp Nuggets on the campus of California State University, Long Beach. I'm joined with my colleague, Dr. Amanda Young, and also a big welcome. Thanks for joining us, Dr. Barry LeVay. Barry was at CSULB for 33 years, and of course, made Camp Nuggets set the foundation for Camp Nugget and all that it is today. So Camp Nugget is a 4-week summer camp program experience for individuals, children with disabilities. It goes from 9 a.m. until noon every day, Monday through Friday, for 4 weeks. We have various disabilities, so autism, Down syndrome, orthopedic impairment, visual impairment, etc. Plus, we also have some typically developing peers who work as as a peer buddy. We'll talk a little bit about that. We piloted this program this summer. So most of our staff are university students who are training to be adapted physical education teachers, but we also employ allied professionals such as physical therapists or speech language pathologists. It's a great way to start some of that collaboration like we would do out in the field. One big thing about Camp Nugget that sets us apart maybe from other programs for individuals with disabilities is that, you know, we're providing instruction. This is like adapted PE. We're providing instruction in aquatics, fundamental motor skills, fitness, lead up games and sports, cooperative games, relaxation, social skills, behavior. You know, as Barry jokingly says, like, we are not a babysitting camp. Like, we are here to provide instruction. Our schedule is we kind of meet up in the morning at 9 and we have a little first 10 minutes or so. We have the students tap in, and we've got some visuals of that in upcoming slides with how are you feeling? Again, kind of that social emotional piece. Then we do a warm up. Then we go into team time. So we have this summer, we had 8 different teams. Each team had approximately 10 to 12 campers. Spoiler alert, we had over 100 individuals with disabilities plus peer buddies at Camp Nugget this summer. So amazing experience. After team time, so that, for example, team time, group number 1 would be together. And they're our youngest campers who are around 5 years of age. So they might be working on locomotor skills. You know, maybe they're working on jumping, but maybe then group 8, our oldest students, would be working on the traversing rock wall. Okay, so something a little more age appropriate for the older group. So team time would be their groups 1 through 8. After that, we did stations. And we had a station focus of the week. So week 1 was cooperative games, week 2, locomotor skills, week 3, fitness, and week 4, ball skills. Then we did a snack time. After that, each group has an aquatics lesson, so a 45 minutes aquatics lesson, and I know Amanda will go into that a little more detail later. And then we tap out with a behavioral reflection. The pictures on the right of your screen are a visual schedule with, you know, kind of a social story, what we're doing at camp each day. We have it in both English and Spanish. We do have a lot of Spanish speakers in Southern California. Amanda, this one's you. I think you're on mute still.
I can't find my mouse. Sorry, hang on just a second. But did you skip a slide?
Oh, did I? Let me go back and see. Oh, I did. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Camp Nugget staff, this summer we had 37 paid staff members, plus volunteers, plus junior counselors. Yeah, I see Lauren's jaw dropping. Yes, it is a lot of organization. We have a 3-to-1 staff to child ratio. We write a lot of grants. These paid staff are paid. You know, it's not a class in that the 37 paid staff members get paid. We write a lot of grants to offset that, plus cost of the 4-week to attend the 4-week camp. We're 3-to-1 staff to child ratio. During aquatics, we're closer to a 1-to-1 because we do have an intro to APE class that comes in and helps with the aquatics lab. So we're closer to a 1-to-1 ratio when we swim.
Okay, found it. So another staff or part of our camp is we have our OSEP scholars. So Project CAPE scholars help to lead the different groups. So we have 2 Project CAPE scholars in charge of the older group and the younger group. And then Dana, who's going to speak a little bit later, was in charge of the peer buddy group this year. So really fun to have our OSEP scholars working with us for that hands-on experience and in that leadership position.
Yeah, and the leaders that the trifold board there, they follow along and you can see the rules and expectations. This was a jungle theme, safari theme this year. And so each group had a safari theme. So the expectations here were roar, ready to work, on task, always try your best, and respect others and equipment. So they had rules and expectations. They tap in and tap out where you can see the cute little lion from, I don't know, I forgot which one of the Disney movies that is, but anyway, and then the schedule that they follow along with. So yeah, our group leaders would put the trifold board together.
And then highlighting our aquatics instruction. This is a really cool thing. Our students campers get in the pool every day, which is wonderful. And again, we have that quality instruction. All of our group leaders completed the adapted aquatics training certificate with Dr. Monica Lepore. Another shout out, gotta love her. And then for aquatics, we break our camp into the younger group and the older group who swim together. For the older group, we have about a 2-to-1 swim ratio. And then for our younger group, we have a 1-to-1 swim ratio where we pair up with our summer class of Intro to Adapted PE. So those students come to camp for practicum and help out with the aquatics portion. For aquatics, we break it down into a 15-minute group lesson, which is taught by the lead teacher. We have 15 minutes of goal time based on the assessment that our counselors do. Then we've got a 5-minute fitness, so everyone's moving and grooving in the pool, getting that heart rate up. And then they have 10 minutes of free time. So really fun. A lot of the students say that aquatics is their favorite part of camp. Then we have a junior counselor program. So we also employ young adults 13 to 21 years old. They come to camp and they get to serve as a junior counselor. So they are kind of learning these leadership skills from their lead counselors, and then they get to help each group with the campers. They help with equipment setup, they help with behaviors, following schedules. So it's a really great opportunity for local transition students to come and work at camp with us. Then we have our Peer Buddies program. And Dana, I'm going to steal the show from you for a second, but our Peer Buddies, we piloted this program to kind of see how can we really help our students or campers without disabilities serve as peer buddies for our campers. So every day they would get a 20-minute training done by Dana. And they would go to camp with everyone else and assist with their peers. Dana collected some really nice data with this as part of her capstone project. And she did a peer buddy survey pre and post. She did a friendship skills survey, a teamwork survey, and a parent survey to find out what the campers thought of the Peer Buddies program, what their parents thought, and what our campers, both with and without disabilities, thought of the program. Some really cute little quotes. A camper with a disability said that the Peer Buddies taught me how to not be scared in the water, and they teach me new swimming skills. So that was really nice. And a peer buddy said that they gained confidence in being a leader during activities and stepping up when we needed, or when they needed help on redirection and repeating instruction. So Dana will be putting together all of this data and sharing this at our National APE conference coming up. So shout out to Dana, shout out to Heidi, yay, excited for that.
Coming to a journal near you. Each summer we do try to collect some research through Camp Nugget. Previous summer we did a snack time in collaboration with our research and dietetics department. We provided healthy snacks, a activity like coloring or drawing activity. The parent families got a weekly handout, and we did a parent workshop at the end. So that was an example of previous research we've done through Camp Nugget. This summer as well, we strengthened our collaboration with our speech and language pathology department. They had volunteers who came in and aided with AAC communication devices. And we were able to collaborate with our speech language pathology colleagues. You can see pictures here of their visuals and how they assisted during Camp Nugget. In addition, on Fridays, we went to the Japanese garden, the Earl Burns Miller Japanese garden here on the CSULB campus. Each Friday, kind of our special Friday, we did yoga in the garden, koi fish coloring. They did a sensory tour where they would, like hop or leap and would be able to feed the koi fish.
And then on our last day of camp, we have an awards ceremony. So we get to celebrate all of our campers' accomplishments. We do, of course, thank yous to all the families, all of our donors. We present certificates, and you'll see that on the next slide. And then we end with a little potluck party. And here's an example of the 2 certificates that all of our campers get. So they get a fitness certificate and then an aquatic certificate, and our camp staff collect that pre and post fitness data using the Brockport and then an aquatics checklist to kind of track their progress and help show the families what their kiddos can do. So here's our information, and we'll go ahead and put this in the chat. But if you'd like more information about Camp Nugget, we can pop that there, and then also follow us on social media at Long Beach State APE.
Next up, I would like to introduce the camp director for Camp Weber, Allie Keene.
Hello, like Dr. Bittner just said, my name is Allie Keene. I'm the director for Camp Weber. I want to thank you all for having me today. I really appreciate it. Will you go back to the first slide really quick for me?
Sure.
There we go. All right, so Camp Weber, there we go. Camp Weber is an adaptive sports camp for kids with visual impairments. On the screen here is our group picture of everyone that attended camp this year, all of our campers, staff, and volunteers, as well as our partners that were able to make this camp possible. We have the Weber Foundation, the Center for Movement, Health, and Disability, Old Dominion University, and Challenge Alaska. So like Dr. Bittner said, I am Allie Keene. I can be reached at mkeen002@odu.edu if anyone has any questions. And on the screen is a picture of me and one of our campers on a paddleboard on the lake at Camp Birchwood, which I'll tell you more about in a few minutes. So who is Camp Weber for? For our campers, they can start coming to camp when they are 8 years old, and then they can attend camp until the summer before they graduate from high school. So for those individuals who might attend high school until they're 21 or so, they can still keep coming to camp until they do graduate. We have a counselor and training program that is for individuals 16 years old, or for our campers who would like to be counselors in training if they're not quite ready to be a counselor in training at 16. They can become a counselor in training once they graduate from high school, and that program is for 2 years. And then for our counselors, they are volunteers. So to be a counselor, you have to be 18 years old, and I'll explain a little bit more about the counselor role in a few minutes. On the screen, we have a picture of one of our counselors and one of our campers. So our counselors this past year actually came from all over. One of the individual on the right of the screen, he actually came all the way from Chile, which is in South America. We had counselors from Virginia, Pennsylvania, California, kind of all over. So with our camp, we do aim to provide experiences for future adapted physical educators, rec therapists, even physical therapists. We had one physical therapist who's currently in school join us this summer. So anyone that might be interested in working with individuals with visual impairments or individuals with disabilities. So if you know of any students or individuals who might be interested in volunteering, we would love to have them. So what is Camp Weber? It's an overnight sports camp for kids with visual impairments. We do lots of different sports, which I'm going to explain. For everyone that comes to camp, staff, volunteers, campers, and kids, room and board is provided. We stay in cabins at the campground. Food is provided. The campground cooks all of our meals for us, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They were awesome, delicious, provided any sort of dietary accommodations that were needed for individuals. But one night in particular, we did get to cook our own hot dogs over a campfire. That picture is on the left side of your screen. And that was a lot of fun for everyone involved. And on the right side of the screen is a group of campers and counselors sitting around one of the tables eating, I believe that would have been dinner. So some of our sports and activities that we do at Camp Weber, we do water sports. So on the left side of the screen, we have 2 of our campers and one of our counselors in a canoe. They are paddling. So we do paddle sports. On the right side of the screen is one of our campers paddleboarding. So both of those are options. And then because we do have our own private lake at Camp Birchwood, we are very fortunate. We do have time where the kids can just kind of play and enjoy and relax in the water. For some of our kids, that was a great time and they really enjoyed it. For others, it is Alaska and it can be a little bit chilly. So all of the kids were given the option whether or not they wanted to swim or participate in another activity. So in the middle of this screen, there is a young girl in a rainbow float She's smiling. And all the kids that did swim, even though it was a little cold at first, seemed to really enjoy that. We also do ball sports. So like Dr. Lieberman previously explained, some of them within her video. On the left side of the screen, we did beep baseball. So we have one of our athletes there and one of our counselors. He's about to prepare to hit a beeping baseball. In the middle of the screen, we do five-a-side soccer. We have a camper there preparing to hit a soccer ball. And on the right side of the screen, we have an individual, one of our campers saving a goal ball. So those are 3 of our ball sports that we do at camp. And then some other activities, a little bit more specific to where we are in Alaska. On the left side of the screen, there's 2 individuals. It's a leg wrestling activity in particular, but this was part of our Native Youth Olympics, which is specific to Alaska. In the middle, we have a nice trail that goes all the way around the lake that we have on site. So we have a camper who is hiking using her white cane. And on the right side of this screen, we have a camper who is doing archery, and his counselor is helping instruct him to make sure he has good form. He is attempting to shoot that bow at the target in front of him. So when we have our dates for next summer, so if you or anyone you know is interested, July 13th through the 20th, 2024, we're super excited to already have these nailed down. Volunteers will need to arrive Saturday, July 13th. Our campers, so we do training on Saturday and Sunday. Our campers arrive on Monday. And then everyone is there for camp until Saturday, July 20th. And on the screen is a picture of the dock with rowboats and canoes. So this is at Camp Birchwood, which is in Chugiak, Alaska. The closest airport is Anchorage. So it's pretty convenient. We do provide transportation for any counselors or staff that come in from Anchorage up to Chugiak. It's about a 20 or 30-minute drive. And then on the screen is a picture of a campfire with a lake in the background. Alaska's absolutely beautiful mountain scenery, just awesome place to be able to have camp. So for volunteers, for our counselors, they remain on site the entire time and with their campers. So they do share that sleeping space. We have cabins, everyone has their own bed. There's bunk beds, everyone is divided into gendered cabins, and everyone stays on campus on the campgrounds for the entire week. So for our counselors, as of right now, it is an unpaid position, and counselors are expected to arrange their transportation to and from Anchorage. We are looking at opportunities to be able to subsidize travel in the future. So if that does become available, we will make sure to pass that word along. But we've had numerous counselors come up who have been able to fundraise most of their travel, but once counselors get there, everything's paid for: food, accommodations, etc. So if you would like more information, I will put these links in the chat. Our website is sites.google.com/odu.edu/campweber/home. So that has all of our Camp Weber information for campers, for volunteers, all of that sort of thing. I can also be contacted if you have any questions that are not answered on that site. And then our social media sites, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter are CMHD, Center for Movement, Health, and Disability at ODU. And then on the right side of the screen is a group of all of our counselors, staff, and volunteers, hands in the air after a final farewell cheer. So I just want to thank you all for listening. I'm happy to answer any questions. And on the screen is a group of all of our campers, volunteers, and staff in their bright neon yellow Camp Weber t-shirts.
Thank you so much, Allie. Much appreciated for sharing more. At this time, we have a student panel. So we have a representative from Camp Abilities, Camp Weber, and Camp Nugget. We have from Camp Nugget, Dana Briosos, from Camp Abilities, Matt Brack, and from Camp Weber,
Madison.
Thank you. I'm trying to find her, but maybe she's on my second page. I have a second page. Okay. Oh, there she is. I'm so sorry. Madison Belby. There we go. We have a few questions to ask. And the first to the three of you, what did you learn? What did you experience from working at these summer camps? And you may fight it out in any order that you want to go in.
I can start. My name is Dana, and like Dr. Bittner and Young said, I was at Camp Nugget this summer working with the peer buddies. And what I learned is kind of like teaching tips is be open to ideas. It's camp. Students are here to also not only learn, but the only thing missing is there's no desks or whiteboard to look at or board to look at. So they're excited to be here. They want to learn a lot of stuff. And so they're going to ask a lot of questions. What are we doing today? What are we doing tomorrow? Are we doing so and so activities? And as a counselor and an educator, be open to those, right? They want to learn something new. And with camp being a little bit more flexible, still having a curriculum, but flexible, be open to changing things up a little bit so that they learn something that they want to learn.
Great. Thanks for sharing, Dana. Matt or Madison?
So at Camp Abilities, some tips that I've learned were to try and make it as fun as possible for them, because this isn't an experience that they normally get, especially in low income areas. So we try and make it as fun for them while as being as safe for them as possible. We do that in a range of a couple of different sports. So you learn how to basically coach or teach those disability sports so that you can incorporate them into your classroom or into another camp or anything like that. And then another tip that I've learned was patience. You got to have a lot of patience because I'm like a short fused person. So if I like get angry, I get angry, or if I get upset, I get upset. So like learning that patience has been really like ideal for me, and it's very it's helped me a lot in the long run.
Madison?
For me at Camp Weber for the past 3 summers, I learned to listen to the kids. A lot of them know what works best for them, especially when it comes to archery. Some of them really wanted balloons and others really wanted neon tape on there. So like listening to what they know because they know themselves best, and also just knowing the balance between friend and counselor. I watched a lot of the kids get out of their shell and like they really became themselves because they've never been to a summer camp before, and it was really a great experience for them. But then also having the line of like rules, to keep everyone safe, because it was Alaska and it's kind of there's wild animals out there. But just knowing the difference between when to step in and when not, like watching the kids form the friendships that they've probably not had the chance to form before was really cool.
Next to the three of you, what did you learn from this camp experience about teaching, about assessment, about behavior management, especially, about doing this at camp versus maybe learning this stuff in a classroom at the university setting?
So a couple of things that I've learned about assessment and behavioral management is, so I've been to 2 different camp abilities, the one in Brockport where I work under Dr. Lieberman, and then I've also been to Camp Ability Saratoga, and I can kind of tell from my experience from behavioral management. So my athlete would always try and do some things. If he didn't like an answer that he was given, he would just shut down and go into his shell. So then we would just try and be like, it's all right. Like, let's think of another way that we can get through this. Let's problem solve together. So that was really a big behavioral management deal that I've learned. Another one has been about like ADHD, trying to keep them active, engaged, and just finding out how you can help their ADHD. My athlete, I would do this on him because he didn't have that sensory impulse that he had. So if he was fidgeting in his seat, I would do that, and then he would sit still and pay attention. if we were talking at meals or anything. But some things I've learned about assessment is we do present level of performances. So we basically write down exactly what the athlete can do so they can share it to their PE teacher to relay what they can do in class and how they can advocate for it, because the PE teacher doesn't know what the student can do unless they are told or shown. So this is definitely a way that we can help them get into phys ed and be a part of the class.
Love that advocacy piece. I know that's a big aspect of capabilities. Dana or Madison?
Yeah, I can go. So for assessment part, I learned this with our post-assessment during Camp Nugget. It's add music. Music is a very enjoyable part of our lives, right? And assessments can become very stressful or nerve-wracking for a lot of our students. So during our post-assessment, I actually learned, I found on YouTube that somebody had overlapped the latest hits of pop music to a pacer test. Not only did that motivate our students to join along and do the pacer, it eased out a lot of the stress. And then you add a little bit of tempo in there and they could run with the music. And that goes for all other parts of the assessment too. Music is very enjoyable. Now, as for behavior management, I actually learned a huge lesson on this part, especially with working with peer buddies. So as educators, it takes time and experience to really get good at this. And that's the same thing with our students, right? With my peer buddies and having a buddy next to them, a lot of them were nervous about managing behaviors. And as educators, we can give those tools and resources and words that they can use to kind of how to talk to each other and how to redirect, right? And they'll put that into practice, right? They'll try it. And then if it works, and if it doesn't, that's kind of like where the learning curve starts to occur. That's kind of where empathy comes in, right? Where that plays into a role. And you as an educator, you kind of have to step in and kind of find the fine line and figure out not only your student, but also who they are talking to in terms of redirection, right? And so with behavior management, it takes time. There are skills that you can teach students, but you have to teach them empathy as well. Okay, why is my buddy maybe not listening to me? Different communication styles, there's different ways to approach people. And so that's the biggest thing I learned with behavior management.
Great. As Barry LeVay likes to say, you can't direct before you connect. Right, Barry? A Barryism? And Garth likes it. Madison, anything to add on that one?
We didn't exactly do assessment at the camp, but we were given a sheet of paper like about the kids and what they enjoy and other things. And from what I learned from that is like you can read everything on paper, but you won't actually know the kid until you're with them. So assessment's good on paper and in person, like you can use together is probably the best way to go about it. And behavior management, it was more of like getting to know the kids. We had two kids that were very different from each other, and one wanted to know why one was being so loud and the other one just like didn't really have that grasp of socialization. So I stepped in and like explained the differences and stuff, and it really helped them understand the other kids they were around, because they, like I said, they haven't really been in that environment before. So getting them to like understand the different behaviors that other people are experiencing.
Great, thank you. Due to time, we're going to cut to one last question, and that is advice for future professionals about working at a summer camp, and why should others come work a summer camp for youth with disabilities?
So I think very straightforward here. If you're thinking about working at a summer camp, do it. Sign up. Take on those leadership roles and get out of your comfort zone and learn something new. Especially as myself working at a camp for the first time, I was nervous. But after this summer, I've learned so much about myself and my teaching. But not only that, I learned about students, right? I know some of, I think it was Matt mentioned, this is a different environment for them. This is a fun place for them. So you will see a different personality come out of your students. And then you can use what you learn at summer camp into your own teaching. How can you make your teaching environment better It's not the same as summer camp, but better, right? So do it. Sign up if you're thinking about summer camps and take on leadership roles.
Some advice that I would give to future professionals would definitely be to ask for help, because that was the hardest thing that I had to learn this summer. Was you have a great group of people behind you, and doesn't look bad for you to ask for help. I kind of learned that this summer. About working at a summer camp for kids with youth and kids with disabilities. I think everybody should do it, especially if you're going to be a future professional within adapted PE, because it gives you more tools to put in your teaching bag or your teaching tool bag, as well as it gives you more experience. So you can just have more experience with more students, because no student is the same. So you can use different tips and tricks, but not everything's going to work, like Dana said before.
Yeah, right, Matt. One thing I know that we try to pitch to our students is, all right, you do the summer camp experience. Now, when you go on an interview, you know, instead of being really general with your answers, you can draw back on that summer camp experience and tell all kinds of specific stories and examples of how you had to manage behaviors or how you now did, you know, hands-on assessments, because you have some of that hands-on experience under your belt. And that's going to make a big difference. You're going to be a lot more memorable in an interview versus not having some of these experiences. And Madison, how about you?
Always sign up to be a summer camp counselor. It's so much fun. Every year I've learned something new, and don't be afraid to go out and be yourself. And everything, I think Matt said it, everything's a learning curve. Like, one year everything could go perfectly fine. The next year, like, you have to go reach into the back of your mind to try to figure out what you've learned in school, what you've learned from experiences and everything, to try to make it the best camp ever for these kids, because that's the end goal.
All right. And now at this time, I would like to open up for the audience any questions that they might have. Oh, right out of the gate, Garth Tymason. Can't wait to ask his question.
Thank you. Wow, what fantastic programs. They are fantastic. And the kids are so lucky to have the programs and the counselors that are here. One quick question for all of the directors. As part of the camp experience, do you do purposeful and regular parent education about what they should be asking for in the schools in relation to required physical education and extracurricular athletics?
Hi, this is Maria. I'm the Capabilities Director for Capabilities in South Jersey, Tucson, Arizona, Newark, Delaware, and Westchester, Pennsylvania. And one of the things that we do, at least at the Tucson, Delaware, and New Jersey camps, is that at the end of the week, our assessment is a letter to parents. In Delaware, we have a really young coaching staff. We have a lot of coaching staff who are still in high school and who are learning how to be teachers. We pulled a lot from the teacher academies in Delaware this year. So we couldn't do the full assessment that I know that camps like Brockport do on their athletes, but what we do is a parent letter. So the coaches write a letter that includes a present level of performance statement for every sport that we do, that state the athlete's present level of performance in that sport, including what equipment that they use. And then that is really helpful for the parents to be able to then advocate for what equipment that their schools should be purchasing. The parents and athletes also know that our email address is open at all times for them to ask us questions. And we have worked with a couple of the athletes that come to camp schools directly throughout the year to advocate for them and help educate the parents. And we also have a really good connection with the teachers at the state agency for the blind. So if the parents give permission or request it, we also send those parent letters to the students, teachers of the visually impaired, and O&M instructors so that they can be used in IEP meetings to advocate for the equipment and services that the kids need in schools.
Lauren?
This is Lauren. Yeah, to piggyback what Maria is saying, and I love the idea of sending the assessments home and what equipment the child benefits from. But I always find that the one variable that's constant is the child. And so that's why we started doing the self-advocacy, because we're like training the teachers, we're like training the parents, but no matter where the child goes, they're the one variable that has the needs. And so, yes, the parents should know what the child needs and they should be able to advocate for them. But we also try to start with the child, because maybe they don't need the parents to advocate for them if they can advocate for themselves, because they're going to be the ones that are going in the community and going into their transition lives, and they're going to have to know what their needs are, and not just variations, where to get the equipment, where to find the rule modifications, and then also what instructional strategies they prefer. I don't like it when you touch me. I would rather feel how you're doing it. We'll do tactile modeling. And so we try to teach those kind of things and practice asking for what they need. And so between the parents and the kids, hopefully they can get what they want. I mean, unfortunately, we were running into issues with kids not even being included in physical education still, even in New York State. And so, you know, we're making some progress, but like you said, Melissa, a lot of the resources are on our Campabilities website under instructional materials. I want to share that even for kids with visual impairment and additional disabilities. We have a lot of now videos and tip sheets for kids with not just plain visual impairment, but like multiple disabilities too. But we want people to use that, because that's part of the solution, is knowing where to find the training materials.
So one thing, Amanda and I are here in the chat, and we're like, we have a parent meeting at Camp Nugget, but I totally agree, Garth. We should probably add a slide next year on like how to advocate for AP services, because no, we don't talk to our parents enough, you know, about that. So great points. We will add that to the parent orientation meeting next year. Thank you for that excellent idea.
One other thing too is on our website, we have a self-advocacy video, and we also have a self-advocacy manual. That manual is geared towards kids with visual impairments, but we just validated a self-advocacy questionnaire. We use it for pre and post. And so if anybody wants to use that, as soon as it gets published, I'll share that with you. We've already submitted that, but it's not just that. Questionnaire is not just for kids with visual impairments. And some of you might have seen the book that we wrote with Jones and Bartlett. It's just called Self-Advocacy Through Health and Physical Education. And that's published through Jones and Bartlett. So we're doing a lot of work with that, because I feel like that's the foundation. No matter, even kids without disabilities have to know how to self-advocate. And then just one other thing too, while we're on it, my advice too is, as a new faculty person, when you run a camp, that can be your teaching, your service, and your research, and we get grants. And so you guys are doing an amazing job. You're getting grants, you're doing teaching, research. So you can literally do everything that we're required to do as a professor in one passion project. And I just think that it's just a great way to get everything that you want and be known for something that's helping the community.
Lauren, I can't emphasize that enough. That's one way that Barry really helped us with our RTP process, is that every summer we collect data for Camp Nugget. You're right, it's our service, teaching, and that it's a great opportunity for our students. We combine one of our intro classes to it for the lab portion. Yeah, absolutely, you're right. You're checking off all three of those boxes by doing the summer camp. So new faculty out there, seriously consider doing a summer camp. Yes, I know it takes part of your, oh, hi, Brooks. It takes some of your time over the summer, but it is immensely helpful for our students to get these experiences, and great for us too, with regards to, you know, building our VITA and working towards that RTP. Barry, you have a question?
Yeah, just real quick for Garth. One of the things that we do, like as far as advocacy, like in our after school program, we do spend quite a bit of time with the parents and talking to them, have meetings. One of the things I learned when I was working on my PhD special ed, like special ed section, was the professor I had. So just put some parents in a room, let them ask questions, and let them interact, and then you guide them along and whatever, and what directions they want to go. So we've always tried to do that in our after school program. And I can't reinforce enough the points that Lauren and Melissa and Amanda are making about this combination of, teaching, scholarship, service, and giving back to community. I think any professional preparation program should be doing these things. I always wanted our university students to have on their vita as many experiences as possible. So that's why we really hustled foundation grants and trying to get money so that we could pay them so that they would do this. And so they can have that on their resume rather than that they're, waiter, waitress type of thing, So those are really important outcomes of these summer programs. And if you're a professional preparation program, I think you try to, I always felt like we should try to run these programs as much as possible to get them ready for teaching, and to be out in the public schools. It's not ideal. And having the more children they have, it's more realistic to what's going to happen to them when they get in the public schools.
Yeah, if they can handle summer camp, they can handle teaching APE. Amanda also brings up a great point. Parents open invitation for Camp Nugget to come join, and we do get a handful of parents that come and join and be a one-on-one aid, etc. Oh, something also fun this summer we did. We had a lawyer from the area who talked about special needs trusts and conservatorships, which is a very important, what happens when parents pass away to their child with a disability. And so that was really very beneficial to do that workshop for the parents.
And that's a double dip because the law firm also donates to Camp Nugget. So great partnership there. And then, I forgot what I was going to say. Never mind.
I also think as a university professor who has, been in higher ed, it really keeps you grounded. You have these children with disabilities that you have to put out these fires. You have to be working. You have to, like for me personally, I got to constantly try new behavior management approaches with the after school program, with the summer program. And I think it's really important that you're not only just talking about and lecturing, but also interacting with students with disabilities.
Right. Sometimes we get we're in our ivory tower. You don't know, but in Camp Nugget, we are in the trenches. Like we are knee deep in it too with our students. Like we're hustling and putting out behaviors and doing it all. Yeah. Oh, Lauren, sorry, you had a point.
That's a good point. So we actually did a qualitative study on the benefit of camp abilities, or the effect of camp abilities on higher education faculty. And one of the things they said is it gives them more legitimacy with their students. But one of the people said that they had worked at that university for like 18 years. The president never knew who they were until they started a camp abilities. And then the president knew who they were. And so I do think it gives you that unique recognition that's different than anybody else. And we're fortunate because some people, they want to come volunteer. They want their teenagers or college children. We get faculty's children that come and volunteer. So you're actually providing more than just it to the community. It just enriches everyone's lives. And then I've never had a high school kid apply for a National Honor Society and not get it, because Camp Abilities gives them that kind of community service that National Honor Society is looking for. But there's so many, I could just name so many other benefits to having those high school kids and college kids, especially of your colleagues and friends. It's just really very rich. It makes your life a lot richer as well. Oh, plus just to say, we have a lot of really fun equipment, right, Matt? We've got our 7-person bike, we've shaped 2-person bike, we've got all kayaks and stand-up paddle boards right on the canal. So we can use those all year long. We can have programs all year long as well. So that's another benefit of having a program where you have a lot of cool equipment. Just to say,
right. I really like that 7-person bike.
Oh, by the way, the guy who invented it really wants it to be, he wants people with camps with kids with disabilities to buy it, because he doesn't want it to be known as like the drunk bike, So I have his number. He came to our camp this past year and he is willing to sell it to you at cost. He just gave Texas Campabilities, some of you know the Texas Campabilities. He gave them one at cost. I think he just gave it to him for $10,000, which is cheap for that bike.
Right. Any final questions before we wrap up? All right. Big thank you, Campabilities, Camp Nugget, Camp Weber, and especially the students and staff counselors who worked at those camps and came to share their experiences. So much appreciated to you all. The NCPEID APE Collaborative will be back in September. So be on the lookout for the next dates and time. So thanks all for joining us.
Melissa and Amanda. Thanks everybody for being here. See you soon.
Bye all, until next
Bye.
time.
Thank you for the opportunity to be able to speak here.
Yeah, thanks, Matt.
Much appreciated.
Bye, everyone.